What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. If you are a first timer to this channel, then welcome to you guys. What we are about to show you guys on this channel is going to be different than almost any strategy you've ever seen before. We don't use indicators. We don't use anything like EMA crossings, VWAP, RSI. We don't use that stuff. We use what the candlesticks tell us to do, and that's strictly what we use. There are a few things like this time frame continuity indicator, the candlestick numbers, but realistically, we are not waiting for anything to cross. We are just waiting for triggers. And this strategy tells you exactly how to get into trades, exactly how to get out of trades. This channel that I've created for you guys shows you exactly what I do every single day to trade in the market. It shows you where to get into trades. It shows you where to get out of trades. If you're looking for a little bit more beginner stuff, go check out what I've got to offer you guys in the playlist in my learning tool videos. I've got over 100 learning videos for you guys. Okay, this is our watch list, our weekly swing list for the week of April 10th. I put these videos out for you guys for free every single day. We just finished our daily watch list, so you guys can go check that out. In that video at the end, I also reviewed last week's plays, which I would say 90% of them would have played out for you guys if you would have entered them, okay? So go check that out, and then make sure you're checking out all the tools I have for you guys to really learn this strategy. It is for you guys. It is for free. Before I get started, I'm going to tell you, this screen here, this is TradingView. If you are going to be trading and marking up charts, you're going to need something like this. There are a lot of different platforms to use. I love TradingView. If you want to try it out for free for 30 days, there's a link in the description below. Go click on that link. Get your free trial for 30 days. If you decide to use that subscription-based service before or after the 30 days, then you will get up to $30 off of your subscription, depending on which one you choose. But you need to start by clicking on that link. Let's get started on this list. I will say, guys, we are live. So if you have comments or questions on the right-hand side of the screen, if you are subscribed, you can ask your questions there. If you're watching a recorded version of this video, leave your questions and comments down below. You can also do so on Twitter if you guys have questions. If you're there, I am also there at Mr. Clark Griswold, or the Discord. It's free for you guys, okay? The Discord is completely free. A lot of you guys don't know that. The link is in the description below. There is a paid portion of it, but the majority of it is free for you guys, okay? So let's get started on this list. The first one we've got is BA, that's Boeing. Boeing has a 2-up that finished red. So when we have these 2-ups that finish red, probabilities often tell us that we are going to trend back to the downside. Does it always happen? No. But probabilities tell us that we do have, the option that it could trend down that way, and it's a higher probability than the other way. Okay, so we'll look for puts here at $208.22. You should get at least, if you're trading options, you should get at least 2 weeks out, okay? So not this Friday's expiry, but the following Friday or the following Friday after that would be 3 weeks out, but I would get at least 2 weeks. Move on to Alibaba. So Alibaba's got an inside bar, okay? So we'll talk about inside bars for a second. Inside bars, they don't break the high, they don't break the low of the previous candle. They stay within the range of the previous candle. You see it's painted yellow. It is painted yellow because of the indicator I created for you guys. Makes the inside bars or the 1 bars yellow. Gives you this time frame continuity. If you don't know what time frame continuity is, you need to go check out my time frame continuity video. It is a really, really important, it's a key cog in this strategy. It's very, very important. It's telling us where the buyers are on the hourly, the daily, the weekly, the monthly, the quarterly, and the yearly. It tells us what they're doing on each one of those. Not a lot of people use it. It is very important. That's part of my indicator. The candlestick numbers are part of the indicator that I created for you guys. These white outside bars and a bunch of other things. The 50% rules on there. But we're talking about inside bars. So we're looking for the break to the high side or the low side of this inside bar. And it's if we go back, if we go back in time to look at previous inside bars, we can look at probabilities on how they reacted. And you can see here, inside bars, when you see the yellow bars, guys, or the inside bars, I want you guys to think of and imagine a spring being compacted, tightened, loaded, ready to explode, and that's exactly what we see here.
A spring.
And does it always happen that way? No. We can go back to another inside bar, but even this one, guys, this one gapped down and then we trended back up. So they don't always work. Here's another one, didn't necessarily work. Okay, but this one worked really, really well, and that's the probability. So we're looking for high probability plays, and we've got one here. So we've got an inside bar. You could almost call that a hammer candle. So a hammer candle is one of the 3 actionable signals when we're talking about this strategy, the high probability plays. An inside bar, which we have, is an actionable signal. A hammer candle, where we have this body, and then the wick is 2 times the size of that body. That's an actionable signal. And then the shooter candle, where we have this body, is just the opposite. It's down below, and the wick to the upside is at least 2 times the size of the body. Okay, so right now we've got 2 actionable signals. We've got great time frame continuity right across the board to the upside. So that's what we're going to look for on BABA. If it goes down, that's a play too. Okay, that's a setup too. I will mention though, the target for the upside on the weekly, we go here, is also to go 2 up on the month off of this 2 down green on the month of April. Okay, so one of the things that the gold members get, the paid memberships get in the Discord, are the top 5 setups from these plays. And people always, I'm going to give you a freebie here. People always ask, what do I look for on those top 5 plays? It's one of the questions I always get. 1, I look for actionable signals, inside bars, hammers, shooters. I look for full time frame continuity. I look for domino effects, where when we have a weekly setup and a monthly setup, will the week also trigger the month? We have that right here. This, I'll tell you right now, Alibaba will be on my top 5 because it's giving us these strong probability setups. And every single setup you guys look at, every strategy you look at, it's always based off of probability. It always is. It has to be. It can't be any other way, because nobody knows what this next candlestick's going to be. They just don't. And so whatever strategy you're looking at is always going to be based off of probabilities. Okay? It just, there's no other way around it. And if we go against probability, then what are you guys doing to handle that risk that you've inherited? Okay, that's where the strat differs from a lot of strategies, because it will tell you where to get out. It'll show you where to get out, and you'll learn that as you watch videos on this channel. Okay, so that's the setup on Alibaba, BABA. We move on to Citigroup. So Citigroup, ticker symbol C, 2 up red. We call these failed 2s. Now, if this was a green candle, would it mean that we couldn't reverse to the downside? It wouldn't. That happens all the time, okay? All the time. Okay, we had a 2 down red here, and we reversed back to the upside. But when we have the opposite color of the direction that it's going, 2 up, but instead of finishing green like this one, we finish red, that's telling me I have a higher probability for this to trend to the downside. Okay, so we can look for those puts at $45.31, and our targets just go to the bottom of the preceding wicks. Okay, we move on to CCL, Carnival Cruise Lines. These are those inside bars. We talked about them again, and all I have to do is go back to this inside bar and see that we triggered, and we didn't hit targets here, guys. We didn't hit targets, but this was a really, really great run where you could have taken some really nice profit off of this trade last week. Okay, it's one of the ones that we reviewed in the daily watch list video at the end of it. Okay, I went through this. So now we have the same setup on CCL again, where we've got an inside bar. We're going to look for a break to the high side or to the low side. Calls at 10.12, puts at 9.54. If this is me, I'm looking for calls at the strike price of around $10. I might go to 10.50. Puts, I'm looking at 9.50, maybe $9. Okay, that's what I'm willing to do, and I'm going at least 2 weeks out. So not this Friday, but the following Friday after that is when I would get my expiry, and maybe a little bit further than that even. Okay, so that is CCL. We move on to Chewy. I lost you guys there for a second, so we should be back. So 2 straight days of consolidation, 2 straight days of inside bars. And basically what these inside bars do, and I'm going to show you here. I like to call this an inversed broadening formation. If you're If you're a veteran of the Strat, you know exactly what that is. If you're new to the Strat, well, you're not going to know what a broadening formation is, but that's okay. Basically, what we get in this, a lot of people call this a flag. So we're getting into a tightening range. That tightening range that I talked about, this squeezing, this spring getting tightened, compacted, loaded, and we're getting ready to explode to the upside or the downside of this play. So that's really what we're looking for with these inside bars. Now, when we have two straight, not days, 2 straight weeks, I think I said days before, 2 straight weeks, this is, again, what we can expect. They don't happen very often. So when we get them, and you can see these yellow highlights, these blue highlights, that's part of the indicator I created for you guys. Now, you can purchase that indicator. The link is down below. It's a one-time fee of $25. You get that indicator for life. Okay, if I add stuff to it, if we edit it, those updates are free, but they're also part of the Griswold Gold membership. I'll talk about that in a second. But again, here's that double inside bar. This is the expectations of what we have off of that. That's our probabilities, okay? We triggered and we hit multiple targets all the way to the upside. Great, great trade. That's what we look for off of those double inside bars, okay? So we'll look for that again on Chewy. So as I was saying, the indicator comes with the gold membership. You can buy it separately for 25 bucks, or you get it with a gold membership, which is $50 a month, or you get 2 months, you get that 3rd month free. So you get the indicator. You get one-on-ones with myself, okay? We can hook up on Google Meets, on Zoom. We can talk about anything you guys have issues with. You get the top 5 setups every day from these watch lists, from the daily watch list. You get a 1-hour Strat course. And speaking of that 1-hour Strat course, if you guys are watching now, I am giving a course away. I'll either do it Monday or Tuesday. So if you're watching this video currently live, you can put a 1 in the chat, or you can put a 1 in the comment section. I'm going to give one away. Okay, I asked people to do the same thing on the daily video. We'll give you guys a Strat course away for free. But it is included with the membership, a 1-hour Strat course to take you guys right from the beginning to the end of the Strat. There's live trading bots in there, so you guys don't have to go looking for the setups. There's ticker symbols like SPY, QQQ, Tesla, NEO, CCL, a bunch of others. Those, they give you the trades live in real time, so you don't have to go searching for them, okay? And there's a lot of other really, really great stuff on there. So make sure you guys are checking that out in the free Discord. The Discord's free, guys. Most of the rooms are free, but I do have that paid membership for the people who want the extra help or want to show support or for whatever reason, okay? So from Chewy, let's go check out CRM. CRM has this inside bar. I'm going to move this one right here to the top. Inside bar, full time frame continuity outside of the year to the downside. We'll see how this one plays out. We can look for calls at 198.93, puts at 189.60. We go to CVX, had this big gap. Most times gaps get filled. Okay, we are 2 up on the month already, but we do have our full time frame continuity back to the downside. So puts at 167.65. And then our targets normally that go to the bottom of the wicks, in this case, the top of the wick, the top of the wick, the top of the wick, until that gap is filled. And then once this gap gets filled, then we go back to the bottom of the wick for the next target. So that's the setup on CVX, puts at 167.13. DraftKings, with the inside bar, there was also a setup on the daily for DraftKings. So inside bar, we can look for calls at 1940, puts at 1742. We also have a setup on the daily. There's our trigger. There's our target on the daily. So if I went to the daily chart, there's our trigger. There's our target. 2 down green. We're looking to go 2 up on the day. That could potentially trigger 2 up on the week, which could also potentially trigger 2 up on the month. Those blue lines represent the inside bar on the month. So if I went to the month, there we are. We're stuck on an inside bar looking to break out of this hammer candle inside bar. So we have setups on the daily. We have setups on the weekly. We have a potential setup on the monthly as well on DraftKings. We'll see if we get that domino effect. Hey, we move on to eBay. eBay, sorry, I'm on the daily there. eBay, if we go to the weekly chart, there we are. 2 up, red. Time frame continuity to the downside. There's that probability thing. 2 up, red. If it would have finished green, we would have been looking for a continuation. In this case, 2 up, red. We're going to look for a pullback. We're going to look for puts at $43.24 on eBay. Ford Motor Company, same thing, 2 up red. We'll look for puts there. We also have an inside bar on the daily. Those are what those 2 yellow lines represent. So we can look for puts on Ford on. Here's the thing, guys. If we trigger on the daily and we hit first targets, we are also going to trigger 2 down on the weekly. So because Ford expires on a Friday, your daily trade, your daily option put could potentially turn into a weekly. And you could try and get a little bit more, try and squeeze a little bit more out of that trade if we trigger 2 down on the week. We move on to GE, 2 up, finished red, time frame continuity in our favor. We'll look for puts at 93.54. General Motors, 2 up red. We're going to see if this thing continues its downtrend with this little pullback. This is what we would call a TTO as we come down, up, and back down. Not the greatest triangle setup, but if we come back through here, there's our triangle day out on the 1 week, and we'll see if that comes to fruition with puts at 34.40. We also have the setup on the daily. So again, there's that domino effect that we always talk about. Okay, inside bar, if we trigger 2 down on the day, we are triggering 2 down on the week on General Motors. Goldman Sachs, 2 up red. We can look for the puts there at 319.37. Home Depot. Okay, so Home Depot, guys, same thing with Lowe's, same thing with Visa, same thing with MasterCard. Not setups I usually give to you guys on the daily, but on the weekly, and the reason I don't is because the spreads on the bid and the ask are way too far apart, and I like to buy market orders. Now, in saying that, when I'm buying swing setups, I will pay for the limit order. I'll try and get it on a lower price because my targets are further away than what normally they would be on a daily chart. Okay, so I have a little bit more time to get in before I hit targets. So in saying that, Home Depot, I've got this set up, 2 up red. We're going to look for puts at 284.24. And I'm going to look at something here on the month because, well, we are stuck 2 up, inside bar on the month. I thought we broke the high side. We did not. Okay, so as we trend down, we could end up seeing a continuation to the downside on the monthly. Also looking to, if we go to the quarterly, looking to go 2 down on the quarterly as well. So again, there's that domino effect that we were talking about. 2 down on the week would lead to a 2 down on the month, would also lead to a 2 down on the quarterly. So Home Depot is a setup there to pay attention to. IWM also has a inside bar on the daily. If we trigger the daily to the downside, we are likely triggering to the downside on the weekly as well to go 2 down on the week. So we can look for puts on IWM at 172.53. So again, if you're looking to swing this, it's not a huge difference. Okay, it's not a huge difference here, but you could get in on the daily instead. Okay, and then once we trigger that weekly, you're in a little bit earlier than you would be if you were just waiting for this weekly because they're so tight together. I wouldn't recommend doing that if they were spread further apart, but this is a pretty tight gap here. So if you were looking to swing IWM next week, you could jump in on the daily before the weekly trigger. Hey, JP Morgan, 2 up, finished red. This is what we would call a 122 Rev Strat and a potential TTO here as we come down. So again, we look at this again. 2 up, red, time frame continuity, a 122 Rev Strat to the downside. Our second target is our trigger to go 2 down on the 3-month chart for JP Morgan. So again, it's something to look at. It's something that you can use to extend your trades a little longer. IBM, 2 up red, time frame continuity, shooter candle, a bunch of items here in our favor. We'll look for puts at 130.32. And if I'm looking for a strike price on this, guys, again, I can look at 130, I can look at 129, maybe a 128. That's probably as far as I would go out on these is a 128, but more likely a 129, 130 is what I would be looking for my strike price on these IBM puts. We go on to Lowe's, just like we looked at with Home Depot. 2 up red, we're going to look for puts on this one at 195.50, first target to the bottom of this big green candle. Macy's, 2 up red, got a little bit of a gap to fill there. We can look for puts on 1805 on this bank play. Also an inside bar on Macy's on the daily. Here we go to MasterCard, another one of those ones that we talked about, just like Home Depot and Lowe's. The spreads are further apart, so this is not something I would buy a market order on like I normally would on a daily. This is something where I would try and get that limit order filled because I have a little bit more time to get in on this and let it run throughout the week, okay? That's a setup on MasterCard. We'll look for puts at 355.97, and let's see how this monthly is playing out. As we came up, we didn't break the high of the previous month, so we are still stuck inside bar. We could still potentially see this go 2 down on the month. A lot of time left in April. Netflix 2 up red. We'll look for those puts there at 332.63. Nike 2 up red. We'll look for the puts there at 117.85 on the weekly. Nvidia 2 up red, so we look for puts here as well at 263.95. Pinterest with the inside bar, full time frame continuity. We'll see how this one winds up playing out, but we can look for calls at 28.45, puts at 27.12, targets to the upside, targets to the downside. PayPal, double inside bar. So again, we talked about this earlier with the 2 straight weeks. I was going to say days again. 2 straight weeks of consolidation. Okay, the second week where we've ended up with a shooter candle. So this one, again, we're going to look to try and see if we can trend up. If we go to the daily's got a 2 down that finished green. We have a daily trigger here. Okay, so we'll see if we can get that domino effect from the day to trigger the week to trigger what's up here, guys. This blue line. The blue line is the month. The day to trigger the week to trigger the month. We'll see if that happens on PayPal, how it plays out. And if we go back to the weekly, and I want to go see this. The last time we had a double inside bar on PayPal, we just have to look for that blue highlight because it is part of the indicator. So it will be on your screen all the way up here. So, did this play out? Okay, so we triggered. We didn't hit targets, but we had a really, really nice run here. And you could have sold for a really nice profit from 237 all the way down to 226 at the low. So that would have been a really good gain for you if you would have played that trade. It wouldn't have hit targets, but you had the opportunity. Here's another one. Double inside bar. And just look how this thing runs. Opens, triggers, 1 day, 2 days before our first pullback. So if you would have got 2 weeks out on this and held a little bit longer, all the way from 194 all the way up to 220 at the most, at the max. Now, no one's ever going to call the top. I wouldn't expect you guys to be able to call the tops on these. So I would expect you guys to take your profits. But that is the power of these inside bars or these double inside bars, okay? That's on PayPal. Again, I'm going to ask you guys one more time. I did tell you guys that in the Griswold Gold membership, the 1-hour strat course that I've created is a part of it. I'm going to give one away for free this week. So if you're watching now, type in a 1 in the comment section, in the chat section. Or if you're watching this as a recorded version, you type a 1 in the comment section down below. I'm going to pick somebody to get that inside or the strat course. I'll probably actually get my kid to pick somebody. So just so it's not, you guys don't think it's biased or I'm picking somebody just because. So my daughter will pick it, but make sure you type a 1 in the comment section. We'll get you guys that free course. Inside bar, not the free course, but we'll get you the course for free. Qualcomm, QCOM, inside bar, we're going to look for calls at 127.57, puts at 121.05 on these inside bars for QCOM. We're winding down here. We've got a 2 up red on QQQ, so we can look for puts at 312.82, running at the top of a broadening formation. So I don't talk about broadening formations a lot. Danny, you retracted your message. Make sure you put that 1 in there so you're entered into the draw. We have this broadening formation, higher highs to higher highs, and we've come through, and then we've got these lower lows to these lower lows. Okay, now we've busted through, come back, busted through, come back. We haven't quite tagged the bottom. And what ends up happening sometimes, guys, is this acts as a support, and we'll just tag it and come back down and tag it. Now, broadening formations are confusing to people because of this. We can draw them almost anywhere, okay? They can happen anywhere. We can draw them anywhere. We can't draw them anywhere, but you can have multiple setups for broadening formations, okay? So there's multiple ways they can happen. Lows to highs, back to lows, back to highs. Are we going to start trending back down? We'll see. We have that 2 up red to push us potentially in the direction, and that's what's been happening. We get pushed down into the downside direction. So we can look for that on QQQ with this setup here. And then square, again, we have that double inside bar off a square. So if we zoom in on this and we go back and look at the last time that square had a double inside bar, there we go. And boom, 3 straight weeks of a run up. Prior to that, and they don't happen very often, guys. These are rare setups. So I didn't check the date on that one, but this one we have to go all the way back to February of 2019. And again, was it a great play? No, but we triggered and we hit targets, okay? So we went from 75 bucks up to 77. So it was a $2 range, and maybe a little bit more here and a little bit more if you would have went 3 weeks or 4 weeks out and held on to it. But still, we get those high probability setups, and that's what we are looking for with this strategy, high probability setups. That one was on square. And that's the list, guys. So if you have questions, feel free to leave them in the comment section down below. You can do it on Twitter at Mr. Clark Griswold. Add me there. I put out lots of content there. I put out lots of content on the Discord, which is free to join. That link is in the description below. If you need the extra help or you want to show support, there is that Griswold Gold membership option of that Discord where you get the Strat course. You get the top 5s from these every single day. Setups every single day. You get the one-on-ones with myself, just you and me, discussing the strat, me answering your questions and helping you out and kind of mentoring you and helping you out. Live trading bots, the strat indicator, that Discord membership is loaded with stuff. And for the 50 bucks that it costs, you can make that back in one trade. So I want to thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for all the supporters, all the subscribers that I've got on YouTube and Twitter. I've recently started a Instagram, so you guys can check that out as well. I put out information there. But thank you guys. Good luck trading next week. Good luck trading Monday. Good luck in April. If you guys need help, you just need to ask. And I wish you guys nothing but green, nothing but the best. Have a great week. I hope you guys had a fantastic Easter weekend, and we will see you